Ever since I've been with love and fashion, I've been in love with fashion. Baby, I know you've been up all night, but it's time for some of that get right. So won't you throw it back for me, throw it back for me, throw it back for me, baby. Why don't you throw it back for me, throw it back for me, throw it back for me, baby. Let's get it, say what? Can you show me what you look like?
What is going on, everybody? It's your guy Trey Love, and I'm here with another episode of Voices of Sickle Cell. We bring you the truth about all things sickle cell, dealing with school, work, life, education, and everything. And today we have a fantastic episode with another champion, another superpower, another mogul, another individual making a difference. So make some noise for the beautiful, the talented, the wonderful Miss Misa Masters. How you doing?
Yay! I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm super exuberant. I've had a very interesting day. I thought today was tomorrow. I thought today was Saturday, but you know what? I was happy for the Sabbath. I was just going with it. But now we're here, and I'm here with you. Yeah, thank
Yes.
God for today. Um, I want to start off right now, really focusing on you. I want to dive into it. I want to talk about your accomplishment because here in the platform, before we do anything else, because we're letting people know that we're more than just the stigmas they portray on us. Before they let us know that they think that we're just invalid and stuff like that, I want them to know how great we are as individuals. So take a couple of seconds
Absolutely.
to tell us, who is Mr. Masters? What makes you you?
So my name is, like he said, Misa Masters. That is my name too, my birth name. I was meant to be great, obviously. I have SC, hemoglobin, sickle cell disease. I'm 42 years old. I am a fitness professional, a personal trainer, gym owner. I reside in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm from originally Oakland, California, living in San Lorenzo on the outskirts of Oakland. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I love lifting weights. I love fitness, everything about it. And I am passionate about helping people get healthy.
Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I swear. Every time she says she's 42, I look at her like you look so radiant, you're so glowing. And I know young folks that want to get the glow that you have. It's a beautiful, your vitality is excellent. Like we're
Thank
gonna learn
you.
about your regimen and how we can get a vitality just like you.
And you know what? A lot of women don't like to talk about their age, especially when they get older, like over 40. And I think that it's a blessing to be older. I'm a middle-aged woman. There's no question about that, but I definitely feel very happy to be taking care of myself and to feel as vibrant and healthy as I do, especially living with sickle cell anemia. And I think that we should be more joyful for our age and take care of ourselves so that we can show up confident and feeling like, yeah, I'm 42 and look at me, like I look good and be confident in that. And I think it makes a difference if you take care of yourself, whether you have sickle cell or not, so that you can age gracefully and also stay connected to your source, stay close connected to your source, which is God or whoever you believe in.
Hey, can you say that last part again? Stay connected. What's that source? What's that source of power? Say it one more time.
God, Jesus is Lord,
We're gonna
period.
give it up to God all the day, every day. Listen, the fact that we alive and we here, I don't care what we're going through. If you
Yeah,
alive, you have another chance to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Go to some so
that's
thank you
right.
for every day that you're here in this earth.
That is true. That is true. Because, a while ago, they said we couldn't live past, I want to say 40.
I was so
People were
30.
saying 30.
Hmm.
So I think women, we live longer than African American women live longer than African American men. Don't ask me why, but that's what I've found in research. But I think that's probably why people with sickle cell males were said to only live, like you said, probably to about 30. And then for women, I think it was like 40. But we are superseding that now. We are thriving. We have so many sickle cell warriors that are doing amazing things, and it's just an amazing thing to see. And I think I'm really proud of you for shining the light on that.
Thank you, thank you. There's a woman I don't know her name, but she's currently right now in her 90s, living with sickle cell SS. And when I heard that, it reminds me that I don't care if you're a doctor, if you're my parent, or who you are. Only God gives me my expiration date. So we're gonna keep on pushing to get to those same kind of accomplishments.
That's right.
Now, for you, Besides being a warrior, you're also an advocate, a gym owner, you do motivation speakers, you're a fitness enthusiast. You do a lot of
Mhm,
wonderful things. How are you able
mhm.
to handle all of that while still living every day with sickle cell?
So I take a lot of time to do self-care regimen daily. I take time for myself. I rest. I don't just wear myself into the ground. I think what happens is a lot of people with sickle cell don't take the time to rest because they feel guilty, because I did go through a certain time where I wanted to be successful so much that I would beat myself up for needing to take time to rest, or like I take daily naps, and I still get a lot done, but I think I'm more efficient because I do take time to take care of myself, get enough sleep, eat nutritious foods, drink a lot of water, meditate. That is something that has done my mental state so much justice. And we can get into how I started to meditate, because I only started meditating during the pandemic. But for the most part, all of my healthy regimen of just my mental and also my physical just rejuvenation throughout my days definitely helps me be successful and continue to strive on and reach my goals. I think it does a lot because I really take time to take care of Misa.
There we go. Now,
Mhm.
history and society, we get soldiers, we get warriors, people who have to do certain things, but it's typically based on their life and surroundings. So, would you say that a lot of things that you have accomplished was because you are a sickle cell warrior and you just wanted to push through it and overcome it? Do you feel like you would have still been in the same journey if you didn't have sickle cell?
Wow, that's a great question. I think two reasons. It could be sickle cell because of course we've been discriminated, all of us in the workforce. That's a big reason why I'm an entrepreneur, because I couldn't find success in the work field. Being that I would get sick so much before I got healthy, that I would just get fired as soon as I went into the hospital. So I found that I was having a hard time stabilizing work. And I just had a burning desire to be successful. But I also think because I went from living with my mom at 12 and then entering into the foster care system after that, where I had no family contact, no family support, I believe that I just felt like people counted me out, and that I wanted to make sure that people knew that you can't count people out early because you never know who they're going to become.
Hmm. I mean, most of the greatest things, but you can't make diamond without some pressure. You don't get glass until you pressure the sand. Like everything in life is through the pressure and through what we've been through. And you sound like you've been through a lot, and now you've accomplished so much. And one of the ones I really love the most is that you're a gym owner and you're an avid influencer on working out and being healthy. And listen, for you ladies who want to get your body right, you should always
Mhm.
find someone who has that body to live up to those
That's
goals.
right.
And when I say,
That's
when
right.
you guys go look at her page, her body is bodying. She did her thing. How, like, doesn't the sickle cell slow you down from working out? Like, how do you manage still lifting weights and going hard and getting your body right? Because a lot of people don't want to work out because they feel like the sickle cell is going to trigger a crisis and put them into a situation. But what does
Mhm.
working out do for you with your sickle cell?
So I think that when people, well, first of all, I get messages all the time from sicklers that say, just like they see my Instagram and they're like, I just want to know how you're doing this, because it's like it looks impossible. But I've been doing this for like 13 years. So what people see now of me, I've worked up to this. This isn't like something that I just started and now I'm squatting like a bunch of weight or whatever you see me do now in my recent videos. I started off with working out like twice a week, slowly worked up to 3 times a week. I also played with a lot of different variations of exercise. So I did start off strength training because I knew my goal was not just to lose weight, although I was 228 pounds. I really wanted to build a shape. Like that was important to me. So I used to first just do basic strength training, full body. And then I realized I want to have a nice lower body shape. So I did more emphasis on doing lower body exercises. And then I was started doing a lot of cardio because I wanted to have abs, at a certain point and be really lean. And I accomplished all those goals. I'm going to send you some of the pictures because I would like you to showcase like different parts of my journey. But for the most part, I did have to play with things to see like what worked for me and what didn't. I found that doing a lot of cardio for people with sickle cell is not really good. I found that I got a like really, how can I say this, drained from doing too much cardio. I was literally doing like an hour to an hour and a half of cardio a day at a certain point, and 60 minutes to an hour and a half of weight training on the same day, 5 to 6 days a week. And I found myself having more crises, ending up in the hospital more often. And I decided that I would try to take some of the cardio down. And it worked for me. So then that sent a light bulb off, like, well, I don't think people with sickle cell should do a bunch of cardiovascular type exercises. That's where you're keeping your heart rate up for long periods of time. I think that the weight training for sicklers, starting off really light and working your way up, is the way.
Now, every warrior is different. I love work.
Mm-hmm.
I love hitting my weights. I love doing what I do. But one thing that I will not do, I refuse to do anymore, I will not touch a treadmill. Because for some reason, I would say 90% of the times, if I run in a treadmill, I am
Mm-hmm.
going to the hospital. But it's because if I go to the track and I run, probably 30 or 40% of the times I will go to the hospital. So in your because you work out with a lot of sickle cell warriors, do you find like
Mm-hmm.
different workouts affect people differently and what they do with their body? They're typically the same thing.
I do, especially because people with sickle cell have like we all know, having different hemoglobins, right? Do you have SS?
I have SS, yes.
So you having SS is the most difficult hemoglobin, like, to deal with, to be honest, when it comes to hospitalizations and just being healthy. So you guys have a different struggle. I mean, it's just keeping it real. That's just what it is. So when I train people that have SS versus someone that has SC, most of the time people that have SS have prior maybe surgeries. They might have had a hip replacement. Different things have happened to them that result in them having to go about the workouts differently, right? So I think it, like you said, it's not a one case scenario. And saying that, I tried to make a sickle cell program, and I realized that I can make a sickle cell program, but it does have to be like, you have to get the intake of the sickler that's coming in to know their story, know their existing health issues and ailments that came from sickle cell surgeries, so that you can help them appropriately, because it's not a cookie cutter type program that's going to work for a person that has sickle cell. It's different across the board.
So I think it's pretty safe to say that for individuals who have, I mean, yes, sickle cell, but almost for any medical background, you need to find a trainer if you want to get healthy who comprehends your body, who comprehends what
Absolutely.
you're going through. Because every trainer doesn't comprehend me. They might want to
Hmm.
push this and push that, not know that
Hmm.
you're right inside the hospital. So ease it down just a bit. But you have a history of working with us, and that's fantastic.
Yes. And then I think it might be hard to find, but having a trainer that has sickle cell is a plus,
Hmm.
because they know how our body is. They know that one day you could be feeling great, and maybe you come to the session a week later and you feel absolutely horrible. And it's like very quick. It's all of a sudden. There's no signs that it might be about to happen. It just happens. And a lot of people don't understand how you could feel good one day, amazing, be smiling, joking, and then the very next day you feel crappy and you're laid in a bed and on your way to the emergency room, right?
And
A person
I'm sorry, go ahead.
a person that doesn't experience hasn't experienced living in our body does not understand that.
Yeah. And like she said, it can you can wake up tomorrow, but even worse, it could be in the next hour, the next minute. It could be during that
Yes,
workout right there. You can feel great right now and being just in the blink of an eye, everything
yes.
can switch over. So you have to be ready. So what are some preventative steps people can do if they're going to be working out to try to get their body relaxed and control to basically prevent from a crisis to happen? Of course, not to be 100%, but what are some steps that people can do?
I say just really starting off slow. I think without the experience, you don't know where you should start. That's the hardest thing, is knowing how much is too much, how much is too little. But if you start with too little, you can add to that. You understand what I mean? But if you start with too much, it's like you could just knock yourself down so hard where you feel so discouraged mentally and you don't even want to try again. So I think just starting really slow. I would say I tell people that have sickle cell, I give people who have sickle cell free advice. My Instagram is we're gonna talk about what it is and my I want anybody that has sickle cell, you're free to message me. We can do free consultation and I can give you advice on your specific situation with your health and give you an idea of how to start. I just want to throw that out. And I do that just because I want to help my people. You know, I want to give them as much direction and help as possible. But just to go back to the question, just start off very slowly and make sure you start off with weight training. Weight training is the way for sickle cell warriors. That doesn't mean go in and lift the heaviest weight. That means lift the lightest weight and
I
see
can
how you
start with
feel.
like 50 pounds. That's a good place to start at 50 pounds, right?
I'm thinking you're serious. I'm like 50 pounds.
I'm not even there yet.
No,
No, we're gonna start with like 5 pounds. Do something like that.
there it is.
Build up. Do what
Exactly.
you can do. I was joking when I said 50. Guys, do what you can do. It's not a race to get to the finish line.
It's
And
not.
appreciate the journey. And what I love about it is people not only can contact you for one-on-one sessions, but you're also a part of the pull-up in
Yes,
California, where you're working with somebody we interviewed recently, Miss Calvin A. And you guys
yes,
have, I believe, a 1 hour session where it's 30 minutes of workouts, 15 minutes of meditation, and then 10 minutes of reflection. But can you just
yes.
break down that group a little bit more for us? What you guys doing? What do you offer in that group?
Sure. So the group is the Pull Up is an amazing group. You guys should follow the group on Instagram. It's the Pull Up, THEE Pull Up. What we do there is Calvin just wants basically to give back to sicklers to really give them a foundation to grow mentally, physically, and emotionally. She basically created it because she wanted people to learn how to eat right, take certain supplements that will help decrease your illness, get you off of pain medicine as much as possible, and give you an emotional place to dump. Like she just wants you to be able to have people that you can come to that have the same illness as you that understand you. And I thought it was so amazing. That's why I locked arms with her because she asked me to be the spiritual advisor and the personal trainer of the group. And I felt like it was what God wanted me to do. To be honest, I felt like I needed to give back more to the sickle cell community. So it was a no-brainer that I was going to partner with her. And with that, we have done amazing things already. She has all these different groups. She doesn't just have the group on Zoom where you come in and we do the meditation workout stretch, but she also has it where like I'm going there tomorrow to an in-person panel where we're going to talk about love and fitness, where my husband will be on the panel and we'll talk about issues that you have when you date people that don't have sickle cell. So I think she's just thinking, what do people need to know that have sickle cell where they could thrive and they can be successful in relationships, financial, and also just emotional support?
You guys are doing a fantastic thing for the community, and I love that because the advocacy is everything. You said spiritual, fitness, team camaraderie, bringing people together. You guys just
Yes,
really pulled it all in. You're doing a fantastic job, really helping the people in the community. Definitely.
thank you. Yeah,
Now,
she's amazing too. And you guys will hear from her because she was actually interviewed.
yes, I think her interview is the one actually right before yours. I don't know if you know that. So I believe you're episode 5 and she's episode 4. So you guys can see back to back episodes, but you guys can hear fantastic
Wow.
things about the pull up. And these ladies are doing amazing things out there in California. And one of the great parts that I love is a lot of their classes are also Zoom. They do have Zoom shows.
Yeah.
Everything is not in person. So if you're anywhere, tune in.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm gonna add that link. I gotta add that link.
Tap in. Tap in. We would love more people that have sickle cell to have access to it. So please.
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world.
Not
Mm-hmm.
only does Misa Masters work with the physical fitness, you also work with the diet. And you were
Yes.
mentioning before how you do consultation and stuff like that. And when I say she does consultation, this is not like a cookie cutter one or two. Like she had me on the phone and she's like, "How much do you weigh? What should I what?" And she broke it down for me and helped me understand because I'm 5'7". I've never passed 146 pounds, but I'm firmly believe now with her guidance, I'm going to get to my goal of 160. So let's
Yes,
talk
you
about
are.
in the community and eating healthy.
Mhm.
How important is that?
Eating healthy is so important. And I think that a lot of sicklers suffer from being underweight, not overweight, right? Not to say that there aren't sicklers that need to lose some body fat, but I've seen more sicklers be underweight than overweight. Why, I don't know. But I think it's very important that you know your macronutrients matter. We also are anemic. So because we're anemic, we don't have a lot of energy. So it's very important that you give your body a certain amount of nutrients, meaning a certain amount of calories, the right kind of nutrients, so that you can thrive and have enough energy to do the things that you want to do to be successful in life. Take care of your kids without a lot of extra stress of just not feeling like you have the energy to give to it, and also to your career, whatever it is that you're pursuing. So when I started to eat healthy and prioritize getting my food to be a little more clean, it did so much for me. Like I think that and drinking a lot of water probably were the biggest like things that made me thrive.
It's a good time to
Getting
take a sip
enough,
real quick.
period. Taking enough, eating enough food, eating enough food, the right nutrients, and drinking a lot of water, or I would say are the three main things with having enough energy and thriving as a person that has sickle cell anemia. You have to realize we have low blood. So with having low blood, you already are going to be very, what is the word? They call it, I don't want to say lethargic. What is the
Oh,
word when you're,
lethargic. Lethargic, yeah. When you're tired all the time.
no,
No?
it's when you feel tired all the time.
Lethargic. Or sleepy or sleep deprived, sleep deprivation.
I might think of it, but you guys get what I'm saying. So with that, you do have to eat more than what you think. There's a certain, so do you want, if you have another question, I'll wait, but I want to break down how the macronutrients
Go into
are
it. Go
shaped.
into it. We got time. Give it to them.
Okay. So there's a certain amount of calories that everybody is supposed to be getting. It's a maintenance amount of calories also that everybody is getting to maintain the weight that you are. So however much you weigh and how tall you are, you're maintaining a weight, meaning your weight is not changing very much. And that's most people. It doesn't change super fast, right? So what that means is that you're eating a certain amount of calories a day. And usually, I'll be honest, if you're underweight, it's too little. It's too little. You're not eating enough. That doesn't even um that has nothing to do with you're not getting the right nutrients, because a lot of times we're eating stuff that is not very healthy and does not break down great in our body to give our body the nutrients that it needs, because we're eating high in simple carbs and not complex carbs. We're not getting enough protein. We're eating a lot of saturated fat, where we're frying foods or eating fried foods that are breaded, having batter on them, not eating enough vegetables to get the micronutrients. So basically, you have your calories, and then you also have something called your macronutrients. Let's just say you need, you yourself, let's say you're eating 2,500 calories a day to maintain the weight that you are right now. Well, to get above that weight to healthily, you would need to add 500 calories or so to your maintenance number. And you would do that by using a macro calculator. You just put in they'll ask you a couple of questions about yourself, and you'll put that number in. You put all those numbers in, plug them in, and it'll give you a calorie amount. You add 500. I do this manually though. So you add the 500 calories to that number. Now you're in a surplus, but you have to break it down into macronutrients to basically make sure that your calories are being you are making sure that your calories are broken down to enough protein, enough carbohydrates, and enough healthy fat. Those are the three macronutrients that the body needs that make up your calories. So let's say You don't eat any avocado. You don't use olive oil. You don't eat any nuts. You are not getting any healthy fat. The fat that you're getting is saturated because you're eating things that have been drowned in vegetable oil, meaning they've been fried. So that means that you're not getting that macronutrient that's adding to your energy source, that's adding to your calories and making you thrive, right? Then let's say you need within those calories, let's say you need 190 grams of protein a day. Well, protein only comes from meat, eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese. That's about it. You not get protein from any other thing. And when I say meat, I mean seafood as well, right? What if you're not eating a lot of meat? What if you're not eating any protein? What if you are making your calories up of mostly carbohydrates, rice, bread, sweet potato, like not sweet potato, because sweet potato is actually a good thing. French fries, whatever. That means that you're not getting enough protein. So you're under protein. So protein is the building block for building muscle. So if you don't get enough protein, how can you expect to also be toned and tight? You're gonna be jiggly. Yeah, you're right. You're gonna be jiggly. You're not gonna like you're not gonna like how your body looks. So then let's say you're eating carbs, but they're all simple. So that means it's white sugar, not like honey, agave, right? Because that's how you should be sweetening everything. Honey or agave. Those are not simple carbs, but complex carbs. So they're gonna not send that spike to your bloodstream and make it compute to sugar, right?
What about brown
So
sugar?
let's say
What about brown sugar?
no.
No? Okay. I thought I was going to do with
Honey,
the brown
agave.
sugar. Honey and agave? Okay.
Honey agave. Brown sugar is still a simple carb, simple carb. Yes, a simple carb. Let's say you're eating a bunch of candy, simple carb. What you need to do instead is eat fruit. Fruit is a good sugar, right? Using the honey and agave, those come from natural sources, so that's why they're good to use instead of sugar. Even using those natural, like not natural sweeteners, but the sweetener like Splenda, those are not good. They're fake sugars. They lead to cancer. A lot of things they don't tell you, right? But I'm saying all this to say that you need to know that the reason that you feel really, really sluggish, like you might feel sluggish anyway because you have low blood, but then you're not giving your body the right nutrients. So you're going to feel even more tired. So you're doing yourself a disjustice by eating the wrong nutrients and then not getting enough of them. And those are the two things that cause disaster and hospitalizations and sickling for people that have sickle cell.
See, I'm
Then
glad.
let's say you drink water. Let's
Mhm.
say you hate water. You drink none. You are not giving your body, your blood enough like rinse, because that's what water does. It makes the blood able to go through your veins a little easier because it kind of dilutes it. But if you don't get that, then you're really doing yourself a disservice, especially anybody, but especially if you have sickle cell anemia, where you have those sickle shaped cells that clog up in your blood, your veins, and it can't go through, it can't circulate, right? So I found I felt 100% better when I started to focus on nutrition and kind of just work on doing these things in a step-by-step manner. Not all in one day, but just kind of every day, starting off like if I used to drink no water. None. I used to say I
Really?
hated water. Not a drop.
Wow. I've always loved water. I don't know how you can accomplish that. And for water, because there's distilled water, there's alkaline water, there's this water, there's that water. What kind of water would you say is good water to drink?
Well, I just feel like drinking pure just water, because a lot of the water people, people that do an alkaline diet say that they like alkaline water better. They think it's more pure or whatever. But for me, I just like water that only says water, because if you look at some waters, they have all these other ingredients in it because they're trying to kind of make you have like some electrolytes in it, but they're putting salt in it and different things you don't even know what it is. It's like, I just want water. So you have to read labels on your water. Just make sure it's just water.
I don't think water, fruits, and vegetables should have ingredients. If they do, you're eating a science experiment to me. That's just kind of weird.
Absolutely. That's right.
And you
And
mentioned
we're
the
in
hospital
America,
now.
so
Hmm.
huh?
You
We're in
mentioned.
America, so there's a
Go ahead. You take it. Take it.
go
Take it.
ahead.
Take it. You got it.
We're in America and they're doing things and we're not paying attention. And they know it. So it just slips right by us until we see, on the news or on Instagram, in the Instagram news or social media news, that they got a call on this and this in it, and it's making this happen. It's like, what? Because we're not paying attention. We're not doing our own research. We're not reading labels. We're not asking, why is it extra stuff in this water? It says water, but why is it all these other things that I don't even know what they are? Like these chemical names, like can't even pronounce them. Why? And that means that we just have to do better with checking labels. I think label checking is one of the most amazing things you can do when you shop. Anything that has over about 3 to 4 ingredients is processed. You do not want to eat a bunch of processed food. You want to make sure that you're shopping on the outskirts of the grocery store, because everything in the middle aisles is highly processed.
Really? I never thought about that. You know what I've learned about the grocery store? This is a fantastic part. I want people to think about this logic, right? If your grocery store has a health food section, what are all the other sections? The rest of them can't be
Processed.
healthy. That's all processed nonsense.
Garbage.
And a lot of these foods have red this and diet this and fructose this, and a lot of the stuff that's in our food are banned in other countries. And when you mentioned that hospital earlier, it really hit me, because when I go to these hospitals, because we're in there, and they give us these
Yeah.
little things of juices that have the horrible ingredients. They give us so much candy. They give us soda. In these hospitals, a place where you think they would give you healthy food, they give you some of the most processed and horrible food
They
that's
do.
bad for you.
Yes.
And I never can put that together. Like, if we're supposed to be getting better, you're taking care of the health, why are we eating so much garbage? Why does America allow so much garbage in our food? It never made any sense to me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. I agree.
No.
It doesn't make sense at all. And they're doing a little better now, because like if you go, my mom was in the hospital and I was just there with her. So if you go to the like cafeteria, you can't get anything that's unhealthy out of the vending machines. Everything is healthy pretty much. I mean, they have it's fake healthy. It's like baked chips. It's not the regular chips, but it's baked. It's like, but that's still not healthy, but it's better. So I say they're doing a little better. They could do better though. Because in the hospital, they can. Yeah, they definitely can. They definitely will give you Ensure, and Ensure has been linked to cancer. My mother had breast cancer. Yep. And she found out after drinking tons of Ensure just to maintain a higher weight all her life, that you can't drink that anymore after having breast cancer. She's like, why? Well, because it's been linked to cancer. So you probably should just not drink it. And she's like, wow, I've been drinking so much of that. Like, I'm just finding that out. So I think it's just up to us to do our own research and understand that it's going to be a process, eating healthier, because this is the analogy I like to give my clients when they start. You have been like, okay, so let me give you this example. I've been personally only eating healthy for probably like 13 years, but I'm 42. So I ate unhealthy a lot longer than I have been eating healthy, even with 13 years under my belt, right? So what that means is that it's easy for me to revert back to my old habits if I'm not careful, because I'm never going to not be tempted. I might get in habit. I might have gotten in habit where it's like easy to choose the right stuff and the taste doesn't really bother me now. And but if I go off of it, like if I get sick or something, I have to strategically say, no, we're getting back on track now, because my mind says you were doing that for 29 years. So it's always going to be a lot easier to revert back. It's always going to be work to eat healthy. You're going to have to be very hard on yourself and very mindful that it's going to take some discipline, and that the people around you may not be on what you're on, but they don't have what you have either, right? So you got to think about it in terms of that.
And now, not only is it the fortitude to choose to eat healthier, a lot of people say this, and I'm going to say something after you say something about it, because I don't know what you're about to say on this part, but a lot of people talk about the expense in eating healthy. That healthier foods are just harder to come by. It's cheaper to buy the processed food. It's cheaper to buy the garbage and put inside of your body. But that's where that fortitude has to come in, where you make those small decisions even if just a little bit at a time. Like for this
Right.
entire month, I'm not trying to have any rice or pasta. I'm doing potatoes and everything instead of quinoa to replace it. That's the choice we have to make.
Mhm. That's true. And when people say it's more expensive to eat healthy, I think that that is true. But I also think that you can choose things that aren't and just say, I'm just going to eat the cheaper stuff. Like, for instance, leg quarters, they're very cheap. Drumsticks, they're very cheap. It may not be as healthy for you to leave the skin on, but even leaving the skin on your chicken and baking it or grilling it or air frying it is better than frying your chicken, right? Or getting fried shrimp or fried fish. Now you're eating the same fish and shrimp. Most of the time, people are eating the same thing. They're just cooking it wrong.
Hmm.
So I don't really when they say that, it's like you just like the fried stuff better. It's not that it's more expensive or not, because you're still buying the same foods. It's just the way you're preparing it. You don't really like eating it like that the most. So you just cook it the way you've been cooking it. And most of the time, the way we eat is how we were brought up. My mother cooked neck bones. I always like neck bones. I always like them. Pork neck bones. My mom cooked chili with ground beef and a bunch of bright rice and cornbread. I will always like that. It will always be like, that's a good cheat meal for me, or treat meal is what I call it. So I think it's just that we have to decide, what I'm going to do most of the time is eat healthy, because doing something sometime is not going to really hurt you. But you have to say during the week, I'm going to eat super healthy. And if you're overweight, you should say, I use this as an analogy with my clients. If you cheat every weekend and you want to lose weight, let's say you have a cheat meal every weekend, you fall off, you cheat the whole weekend. I'm talking about several meals, several junk food, several drinks that are not good for you. You are not going to be in a calorie deficit, because that's just way too many days a month. So what that means is that if you want to stay in a calorie deficit, which means you're going to lose weight, because remember I said you add the 500 to gain the weight, you would take that away from your maintenance if you want to lose weight. Add the 500 to gain healthy weight, take the 500 away from your maintenance to lose weight and lose body fat. So what happens is people that want to lose weight, they have a harder time, because they're going to have to eat less too. They're not going to be able to eat as much of the junk and stuff as they want. And this is the thing. I'll rephrase that. Most people like junk more than food when they're overweight. They like junk food more than food. So when I start saying, you need to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 snacks, they like, what? That's a lot of food. It's because you were eating mostly junk, and that's quick. Get a few Oreos, right? Eat some ice cream. It doesn't take as much preparation. So it feels really hard to say eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because those are 3 big meals. And usually you eat one meal and a bunch of junk, right? So I think people do like you. If you want to gain weight, it's kind of hard, because you'll be like, I'm eating so much, because most people are not used to eating real food as much as they need to eat it.
Hmm. And I definitely feel like it, besides being a choice, it's also looking at it logically. And I don't think it's as hard as people think it is to really purchase this food to be healthier. When I hear people say
Hmm.
it's expensive to be healthier, I don't really get complete how it's expensive, because do you know how much it costs me to not buy a soda? How much it costs me to not buy
Exactly.
a Kit Kat, to not buy a cake, to not buy a
Especially
pizza?
in this economy.
Exactly. So I'm saving so much money from not buying those stuff. And then I
Yes.
sat down, I looked at myself, because I'm not gonna lie. As a single man living, I don't, and I have my business. I'm doing a lot. I don't always want to cook, so I do go out to buy
Hmm.
food, and I might not
Hmm.
buy. I won't buy fast food, but I'll buy takeout. So I started comparing
Hmm.
the prices of my food, and I always go get this Middle Eastern spot, and I get the bar, which is like it's grilled lamb over brown rice with tomatoes and onions. When I look at it, it costs
Hmm.
me like $30. But the other day, I said, you know what? I'm gonna cook this week. And I went to the
Yes.
supermarket. I spent around 30 something bucks, and I got a bunch of chicken. I got a bunch of milk. I got some
Yep.
eggs. Like, well, the egg price is really going up. I kind of hit a little bit, but
Right.
I got a little bit more, and I was able to now, instead of having one meal, to have 2 or 3 meals. So when people say
Exactly.
it's more expensive to eat healthy, I don't think to be looking at those numbers when they're saying that, because when I add up the value, even if you're buying McDonald's for the family, McDonald's prices
Mm-hmm.
went up too. And I've seen
Did they
families spend 40, 50, $60 to buy a meal, and each individual gets one meal. When you can go buy a
Yes,
bunch of food, and now each of you can have two, three meals. It really
that's right.
a mental choice that you guys have to make. Because I always found it an atrocity where, like she says, I have sickle cell SS. There's sickle cell
Mm-hmm.
and there's thalassemia. And together there's
Mm-hmm.
over 60 different ways the cells can be formed that have different feedback to your body. SS is the
Right.
worst classification, so we go through a lot. But I don't
Yes.
take blood transfusions at all. I've had two my entire life. One was needed,
That's
one was
amazing.
just for a test drug. I don't take medications every single day. All the stuff people talk about, I don't do. And when I
Mm-hmm.
go to a lot of other warriors' houses and I'm hanging out with them, they like to ask me, "Well, Trey, why is it that you don't get sick like that?" And I don't just give them an answer. I walk with
Mm-hmm.
them to their kitchen and I'm like, "You see that? And I gotta go. That gotta go. That gotta go."
Mm-hmm.
Because if your body is so busy focused on breaking down all that negative stuff, it's spending
Mm-hmm.
too much energy that's not working on building itself up. It starts on
Mm-hmm.
the inside. Now, once you get your inside healthy, you come back to Misa Masters, you also get the fitness class and you bulk it up, and now you got the whole package. Then you can
That's
be
right.
more healthy, but it starts from the inside. And this is, I want people to see this part. It's not just for sickle cell. Every
You know what?
day,
I'm happy you said that.
here we
I'm
go.
so happy you said that because doing what I do, I have realized that everybody that comes to me with the ailment, this is where I found so much passion in this because when I realized that I could work out and eat healthy and be out of the hospital and not have to talk to the doctor very often, and I was like, that's amazing. But my mind said immediately, other people can do this too with diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer. And I've watched it happen. I've had people come. I probably trained over in my career like close to 3,000 people because in 2024 I had trained like 2,000 and something people. So I know for a fact I've had people come with everything, arthritis where they can barely walk. As soon as I give them a good meal plan where I'm breaking down their macronutrients, where they're eating enough calories, they're getting the right nutrients, they're getting enough, they are moving their bodies, they're building their bodies up with strength by lifting the weights. This lady had arthritis. She couldn't even walk. She was like, I don't even go in stores. She's walking with a walker. That lady started to not use her walker, walk in stores, do her shopping. It was the most amazing and transformation that I have ever seen in my life. And it really just made me feel as though like anybody could be healthier with anything if they start focusing on their health and getting their habits in order. And that is like why I'm so passionate about what I do. Not just for people with sickle cell, but it's a thing. If you have an ailment, you can fix it. You don't have to be as sick as you think. You have more control. I'll leave you with this. You have more control than you think.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Listen, eating, exercise, having a relationship with God, having a support group. These are all things that I feel all people need. But I want you to leave
Mm-hmm.
our views with a message because a lot of people, they're going through a lot of things right now with their journey and to achieve more and to do better. And I know you have so many success stories. So I want you to leave a message to our viewers. What should their mindset be? Or what words of encouragement can you give them to have a brighter future?
So I also want to let you guys know I suffer from depression, anxiety, for a lot of my life. I use marijuana to mask it. I also was drinking a lot, partying. My health was the worst when I was doing that. The worst. And I didn't even realize that my health was worse because I was just so used to doing it. Like it was just like that was my life. So, because once I went to foster care, I was just out there. And that is exactly what my life was daily drinking, smoking, hanging out, partying. That you can't do that. That is going to kill you. If I would have kept doing that, I don't even know if I'd be living now. And I'm being very honest. Then it also drinking, smoking, putting those substances into your body at that high rate that I feel like it was making me depressed, making me feel like I had a lot of anxiety. And what ended up happening was I decided meditation, I needed to try it only because I was like, I had been working out and everything, but I'm like, I think I need something deeper for my mind. So I researched, I don't want to take, I was taking antidepressants, before I knew that I had control over my physical. So I said, I don't want anything like that from the doctor anymore. I researched what's the holistic way of combating anxiety, depression. And they said meditation. I'm like, do Christians meditate? So I did some more research on that because I've always been a believer. And it's like Jesus meditated, and you just have to meditate on the right thing. So I decided in 2020 during the pandemic, because I just opened my gym. So I decided, I was very scared. I opened my gym. I spent all this money on equipment that I saved. I didn't want any loans for like 4 years. I saved my money, and I opened the gym, spent all this money. And I'm like, I'm about to recoup my money from the clients coming in. And they said close, pandemic. So I was like in a state of like a high anxiety. Like, what am I going to do? These people don't like online training. They need to come in. Like, this is the motivation they need. Are they going to still be motivated? Or are they going to still be healthy? Like, what am I going to do? And I went into a state of panic, and I feel like my anxiety was through the roof. I was just frozen. I did nothing. So that's when I did the research on what combats anxiety, depression. And they said meditation. So I decided to do this. I said, I'm going to pray every day out loud using my mouth, because God spoke and that he made the world through speaking. So I said, I'm not just going to pray in my head or, whatever. I'm going to pray with my mouth out loud. And then as soon as I finish, I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes. I said, so I found and this is very useful. Please hear me out. I found a 30-day meditation free on YouTube. It was a challenge, 5-minute meditation for 30 days. So I started doing it. I felt so stupid because they were saying, like, at first, they're like, clear your mind. Don't think about anything. If a thought comes, just let it drop off to the side. I'm like, but I keep thinking about stuff because I remember I had all this anxiety. So I'm like, it's not working. But I was like, I'm going to keep doing it. By day 20, I went into this state during that 5-minute meditation where I was like awake. My eyes were closed, of course. I was awake. I wasn't asleep, but I was like zoned out. It was the most relaxing thing that I've ever done in my life. And that's when I knew the key to meditation was that I asked my husband, I said, do I seem different to you? Like, do you notice anything different about me? And he was like, I do. Like, you seem more calm, more focused. I'm like, I'm never stopping this. I just knew right then because I felt those things, but I just wanted to confirm with him that he saw something different in me. So I kept doing it, and it changed me. Like, yes, fitness changed me. Eating healthy changed me, but that changed me on another level. So what I want to say is, stop always thinking that the doctor has something for you. They are trained to give you pills. That's what they want to do because they make money off of that. It's a business. They are not going to give you the right tools to use that is going to be the best way of combating these things that you're going through. So I want you to stop having so much faith in the doctors. I know you're used to that, but the doctors look at me and they probably look at you like this too. Like, I'm like, I can't believe who this lady is now. Like, who is this lady? Because they've seen so much change in me. It's like amazing to them. And they like, she did it. Like, and I don't even listen to a lot of stuff that they tell me now because it's like, I got this. Like, I got this. So you have to start taking your own measures, doing your own research, and going within to solve the problems that you once were getting their advice and their medicine for. That medicine is just going to kill you and keep you in a cycle. It's not going to really help and cure what you're going through. So my hope for you guys that are listening to this is that you decide to try meditation, even if it's 1 minute, that you go on YouTube, search 5-minute meditation, and you just try it, that you stick to it for at least a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week. Build yourself up on that. And then try to eat healthy. Even if you eat a couple of healthy meals a day, it's better than you just not trying it all. And if you fail, this is what people do. Let's say you say, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going all out. You buy the groceries, you make the meal prep, and then you go to the fast food place 2 days later and let all the food spoil. I mean, it happens, right? And then you feel so bad. You're like, I wasted my money. I still ate crappy. And you just decide, forget it. I want we're going to fall. We're going to fall. And my favorite affirmation that I made up is, I'm a warrior. I will get up and I will walk forward and I will fight. I'm a warrior. I will get up and I will walk forward and I will fight. Because when you fall, what people do, not just sicklers, they wallow in that and they decide, they're not going to try anymore. And then all this time goes by. And by the time they realize I could just try it again, they didn't gain 20 pounds. They didn't have 5 hospitalizations, so it's like, just get back up quick. Decide, okay, I messed up. So what? I'm human. I'm going to try it again immediately. Like, don't wallow in it. Don't feel bad. Decide, I messed up, but tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day, and I'm going to get back on it, and I'm going to try again. So I think that is the most useful thing you could do, is those things. And if you do that, you will have success.
There you go. The world may knock you down 100 times, but you get back up 101 times. You keep God with you. Fitness, diet, God, relationship, and meditation. You guys heard it from Misa Masters herself, the wonderful, the talented, the smart, the very motivational Miss Misa Masters. Give it up for you guys. Tag her. I'm gonna tag her in the comment. I'm gonna put her contact information. I also want that affirmation, because I know the fact that I want to keep it for myself. I'm pretty sure more people gonna want that affirmation. So please send it to me. And thank you all for tuning into
I sure will.
Voice of Sickle Cell with Trey Lovin. We will see you next time.
Throw it back on me, look back, then ask if I like that. Look at the stance, like goddamn, I gotta pipe that. Take him back to the hotel for a nightcap. Don't pop pills, there's a pillow, you can bite that. Then it start raining, storming, drill fighting. Smash to the sound of the thunder and the lightning. Bought me a raise, said she wanna spend a life with me. Damn, I just want her to spend the night with me.